Hi friends, welcome to our first garden tour of the season. This is the April garden tour. It is a little chilly out here and a bit windy, so I hope you guys don't mind a little bit of wind noise, but we're going to try our best to kind of make this quick. But there's so many changes in the garden that I really want to cover, so forgive me if this one goes on a little bit longer than normal. Let's start right up here. Actually, let's start right here with something fun and exciting. This is the Van Sweet Cherry, and if you guys remember, we had it closer to right here, and Max put in all that work to have it right back here. I think it looks much better. What do you think?
Yeah, I like this spot. Hopefully we can keep it.
Yeah, we will keep it. We can't move it anymore. It's so big. But what's really exciting is that it's actually putting on cherries this year. So I remember last year when we moved it, we said, because of the move that it's probably not going to produce fruit, which we were correct. It was under a lot of stress from the move. But now this year we have a bunch of cherries coming on the plant, and I'm hoping that the squirrels don't eat it all. I'm hoping we get cherries this year. I transplanted the Lady of Shalott roses in the back, and these are shrub roses, but they can get quite large. So I'm hoping it just becomes a beautiful backdrop for the Van Sweet. We had the Bathsheba rose there. It was just too much. I think this placement is much better. And then underneath the cherry, which is something that I'm trying to implement this year, is to just have its own kind of ecosystem below. So we have the strawberries to hopefully work as ground cover. I have some chives to hopefully attract the beneficial insects, but repel some of the pests. And then I'm going to also add some yarrow, some borage. We have some, I believe these are black-eyed Susan coming back. I had different varieties here, and I just kind of took the seed heads and sprinkle around. So we're going to have some more come in. Here we have the peach sorbet blueberries. And then I took some pieces of the rhododendron that we had to cut down for the making of the back fence. And hopefully we can root that in and plant it somewhere else. The back one doesn't have anything in yet, but I'm in between putting grapes or a evergreen. I think grapes would look really nice and could run along the fencing there. Let's go over here. What do you think, over here or down there?
Let's go down here.
All right. Down here is still pretty much a mess, but we have the Belle of Georgia peach. She is a full-size tree, but she's making her way there slowly. I don't mind too much, but she is putting on a lot of peaches. The previous year she put on about 3, but now everywhere I look I kind of see some buds. Do you see them, babe?
I see down
You
the
can see
bottom
down there. Yeah. The other ones are mostly covered by the leaves, which is good. Protect them from the squirrels, hopefully. They're our main pests when it comes to the fruiting trees. We have the boysenberry here, which I was going to completely get rid of, but they're growing more upright instead of long. So I'm able to access the berries much better because it is a thorny berry plant. Here we have our containers. If you remember, we planted this all together with the early glow strawberry. This one I think is perish, sadly, but we still have 1, 2, 3, 4 pink lemonades and the early glow strawberry around it. And I think I'm going to keep the strawberries there, but I'm going to put the blueberries along the blueberry wall, which I'll show you later. Over here we still have the raspberries and the blackberries. We have a plan for where we want to put them permanently. We're just not able to execute it yet. Now going on the kind of perimeter of the main vegetable gardens, you guys saw that we planted up the rest of the Seascape Everbearing strawberry. Again, this is my favorite variety. But if you look behind too, we have the Sweet Williams. These are biennials, so the first year I only got leaves. The second year I did get the flowers, so there's some white, there's some pinks. So I'm really excited to see those again this year. These are some black-eyed Susan or echinacea. Sometimes I really can't tell the difference between the leaves. It's one of those. So I also have a lot of volunteers of the foxgloves. I'm always excited to have volunteers, except for one volunteer, which I'll show you guys in a bit. At the front here, I did add the Asian persimmon. I don't want to butcher the name, but if you want to come close. Asian pear, sorry.
Yeah, you butchered it.
Yeah. But this is the name, and I love how the new leaves kind of come out this slightly amber color. Just really nice, but it's a full-size tree, so I do want it to grow and take over this center area. We have some daisies coming back, chives. Again, I like putting chives around fruit trees. This is supposed to be a pink salvia, some snapdragons, and I have a lot of snapdragons coming back. Gaillardia here. This is the Sweet Romance lavender, some yarrow, the sedums. We have the reminiscent pink rose, the oh so easy rose, and then back there, do you remember what that one was? Oh, the Sunurita. So I'm trying to, have the roses kind of be in this area. And as you can see, I changed the bed from being straight down to the curves to match the other side over there. And then I also moved the moon glow pear here. And she's doing fantastic. She's leafing out really nicely. So I'm really happy about that move. Here we have again the purple chives. And we've just been picking on this. As you can see, some of the blossoms are down here because we did cut on these for some chives, egg, and ham. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. That was so good. Yeah. Those are one of the first things that come up for us. So we like to take advantage and enjoy those.
Talk about this.
Oh.
Here.
So this is the angel red pranganat, as you like to say in Jamaica. And I don't think I made a good decision as far as like placement. This is right at our entry area. And for some reason I was thinking we don't use this entry a lot, but we actually do. So I'm going to have to move it from here to maybe right in this area. I do want to let it be a full shrub. So I have to keep that in mind for whenever I move it. But I'm just going to keep it there for this year, allow it to grow some more, and then figure out a final spot for that. I do have a lot of peonies back in the garden. I had planted a few of them in areas that gets a little bit too much shade, so they weren't coming up. But this year I saw, like, maybe when they were like small like this, I recognized that it was a peony, and I took the opportunity to move them, and now they're so much happier. So I'll show you a few of them that are in different stages. I also moved the sedums from the front. I thought I just like pulled it out. Well, at the time I just pulled it out and chucked it because I was like, oh, I don't want it. But it did come back, and I was actually happy to see it. So I went ahead and transplanted them from the front to the back. We have some foxgloves here. And you can see this is one type of foxgloves, and this is another type right here. It's either that or I'm misidentifying it, but I think there are two different types of foxgloves here. And this is chamomile. Yeah, I think that's chamomile. Really happy for that. Do you think we should go in the garden? Okay, so we have the Bellstar broccoli here, and in the paper towel rolls that I cut in half, there are actually beets planted in there. So if you get close, you'll see them. And that was my way of protecting them from the birds, and it has been working. Over here, we have the imperial broccoli. Last year, I had a fantastic broccoli harvest, the best broccoli harvest I've ever had. So I'm hoping, yeah, same thing. Those are the Detroit dark red. What's it called? Beets, yeah. And the sticks at the front there, I'd taken out the elderberries, which you'll see in a minute, but I'd taken them out and I just stuck the sticks down in the soil, and they are regrowing, so I'll be able to plant elderberries more places. Yeah, there's some more right there. Don't look at this. So this is my ruby red onions that I have not planted out.
Where are they going to go in here? back there.
No, carrots, they're gonna go up here. Carrots are in here. I had to do a second planting of these April 20 something because I didn't do the mesh. I completely forgot. So the birds came in and picked out what they want. We have a few survivors here. You can see the carrot. Yes. So we have a few that survived, but you know, I don't do anything special when I plant carrots. I usually time it around early March when we're getting a lot of rain. So that usually helps keep the soil moist. That's the main thing with carrot seedlings or carrot seeds. You have to keep the soil moist. So because I had to plant it a little later, I am going to have to come in and make sure I'm adding water. For here, the broccolis, we are going to have to come in. We're going to use the hardware cloth, create a little barrier around these because we do have a lot of bunny, like a high bunny pressure here. These are the white, what is it? The purple top white globe turnip. That's a mouthful. The chickens were trying to pluck at these, but we have a lot of survivors because I did use my garden clothes to help protect it. I really enjoy the turnips. We use it for the replacement of potatoes, and I didn't see any big difference where, you know, I would say, oh, I prefer the potatoes. It was a perfectly well-suited substitute for that. So that's why I'm trying to grow some more again this year. The garlics are all doing well. We have some volunteer dills in here. And if you're not sure what it is, you could always just take a little piece, you know, rub it between your fingers and smell it. I could tell that that's dill. Really happy about that because I did try to start dill seeds inside and that didn't work out as planned. So I'm happy that I have a bunch of volunteers. So I've been taking them while they're still small and just transplanting them around the garden. They're great for beneficial insect, and they're also good as a trap, not beneficial insect, but a great beneficial plant that attracts beneficial insects, and it could also be a trap crop for some plants. That's a mouthful. Here is the volunteer that I'm not happy about, which is the Verbena venereensis. These are all the ones that like have the dark purple stems here. Those are all verbenas.
Those are flowers.
Yeah. They get pretty tall, about like 6 to 8 feet tall. But they do look really pretty in the garden. So I'm going to take out some and place them here and there. And the rest, I'm just going to see if the chickens like it, maybe, and feed it to them. We did move some of the wine barrels here. I don't know if this is going to be a permanent fixture or just something temporary, but we planted up some blueberries that I purchased this year. These are mostly like a taller variety, so I might just plant them out in the landscape. I'm just not sure yet, but I did use my compost in here, and you could see I have a lot of volunteer tomatoes from the compost, and I'm happy about that. I also interplanted the sequoias, strawberry, same thing for over here. Back here, I thought we had volunteer celery. It was actually volunteer feverfew, and I don't know how that happened because I only planted feverfew in the front. So then I went and direct sowed some celery back here. I don't know if I'm gonna get anything from that, but I could always do another set for the fall. So for the chicken coop, I just kind of split some of my perennials in half and stretched it to plant in front of the coop. So we have some foxgloves, some daisy, some chives, some chamomile, and then we also have this generous gardener climbing rose that I'm hoping to climb up and over and just provide some shade in this area for the chickens. Okay, so over here we have the pecan. I don't remember the specific variety, but it's doing well in the understory of the other trees. And then back there we have the October Glory maple that I'm hoping will come up and kind of create additional privacy above the fencing area. Here we did a lot of changes. We took out all the strawberries that were growing down here. We put down not hardwood cloth, we put down weed fabric, and then we mulched it. And we're only going to be using this area for blueberries, because with blueberries, you have to cover it once the berries start coming on. So this makes it a lot easier to just take one large insect netting and covering all the blueberries. And they're doing well, not as well as they would be if they've been here for a year or so. But, you know, we don't have any casualties, so that's always good. That's always promising. So this is just going to be from here going all the way down to when we finish the rock wall. It's going to be blueberries, so I'm excited for that. And then here we have our Russian variety of pranganat. I like to keep her just over here. I might put her down, actually put a blueberry here instead, but she's doing really well. You'll probably think that this part is like dead, but pranganats are weird. They leaf out in like sections, but I'm happy she's still alive and doing well. If you look up here, I'm still using the American pillar arbs to kind of create privacy. Obviously, they're still spaced a little bit too close. Once we get the top portion of the rock wall finished, then I will take them out and space them correctly. I'm really also liking the phlox up there. So there's purple and there's pink, but I'm going to be spreading the purple to go all the way across to add some color, and the pink I am going to be taking out. So this is our Intrepid Peach. This is her third year here, but she's been a superstar as far as growth. This is a dwarf variety, and I've been having to keep her trimmed lower to keep her at an actual dwarf size. I think she produced some fruits last year. She's produced even more fruits this year, which is really exciting. So I'm hoping that we get to taste her plant, her fruit this year. If I haven't said it before, the squirrels have gotten all our fruits in previous years. We have a peony back here, some bee balm. We also have chives, purple chives. And then under these cloches, this is where I sprinkled some poppy seeds during the winter months. They like it nice and cold at germination, but I had to put the cloche on top so I remember where exactly I did sprinkle the seeds. So after they get a little bit bigger, I'm going to kind of transplant them around the garden, just in like clusters. Here I like to call this the apple lane because we have the trio of the Gala apple, we have the Arkansas black, and we have the pink lady. Looking at the Gala and the Arkansas, you could definitely tell these are dwarf, but the pink lady is also supposed to be dwarf, but she is more acting like the red heavy. It's like the same height as the Red Haven peach, which is a full-size tree. Even though we prune both of them, they grow about the same height every year. I don't know what's going on with her, but she's producing. We have some fruit buds on all of them. Have some here. We can still see the flower for the Arkansas apple. And I just love apple blossoms. They're so pretty. Right here at the corners, we have the cherry tree. So this is the Napoleon dwarf cherry, and the other one is the Lampins cherry. So Lampins is supposed to do just a regular red cherry, and the Napoleon is supposed to have like a yellow red variation thing going on. I haven't planted up these containers as yet, but I will soon. And same thing at the bottom. I like to have chives, just some pollinator friendly perennials down there as well, also with some hydrangea because they do like the shade. I had them over on the other side last year, but they were getting way too much sun, so I moved them this year. And then we have a volunteer artichoke plant right there as well, which reminds me I do want to plant some more artichokes. Hoping maybe this year I'll actually use it for eating purpose, but I do really enjoy the flower of the artichoke. In this area we have our Red Haven peach, our beautiful full-size peach. She produced for the last couple years. We didn't get anything, but she's producing again, so soon when they get about the size of a quarter, I'll come in and do some selective fruit placement, taking off a lot of the fruit that it produces. It's a sad process, but it has to get done. So I'll be doing that later on. And then the same thing down here, I have the strawberries that I'm hoping to continue to be ground cover. I have some chives, some hydrangea to get some shade back there. And then I have my star fruit right here. This is the blueberry that was struggling a few years ago, and now she's our best producing blueberry. I don't know the variety because it came from my mom's house. She didn't even know it was a blueberry. We transplanted it here. It wasn't doing so well because I had mulch from the town, but it wasn't fully decomposed, so it was like sucking all the nutrients that was meant for this plant. So once I moved it, gave it some tender love and care, she's now very happy in this place. So I'll be keeping her right there. We have some peony back here, another small one that I transplanted recently. Some bee balm, some sage. We also have some Dusty Miller. I pruned some of these, but for the entire winter, it did not faze them at all. They came out. I'll show you another one because I didn't prune it, but they were just happy and bright in the winter months. We also have this lilac here. These lilacs still send out runners, so I'm going to use one of these runners and I'm going to put it somewhere else in the garden. Then here we have, let me show you one of the daffodils. We're gonna have to do an end of March garden tour in order to catch the daffodils at their peak. I also had some roses return. I'll show you that. This is the Pinky Winky hydrangea that I'm hoping will take over this entire space. I am going to have to move these coral bells here over to the more shadier spot because when it starts getting into the, summer months, it's a little bit too hot right here, so they start to burn. So there was 3 here. We lost one to some burn damage. We also have the Neronia berry. This one gets up to 4 feet tall, and the chickens got out. Look at the girls. They got out. They are so... they are something else. Here we have the goji berry, which hopefully we get fruit on that. I've actually never tasted it, but I'm just interested, so I figure I'd grow it. Some bee balm. We had some candy cane spirea down there with the variegated leaves. So back here we have the Grenada pranganat, and she was starting to put out leaves, but we had a period of just little cold, like the temperature dropped to around 30, like very low 30s, so it kind of killed the leafing out process. Hopefully she pushes back out some more leaves because I think she's the oldest one and our only chance of getting pranganats this year, so I'm really hoping she gets to leaf out for us. And then this right here is actually what I'm thinking is a gladiator allium, and these come out really big. I do want more in my garden, but for right now I'm really excited for that one. We have the phenomenal lavender down there, some roses here, these peony. So this peony is the one that performed, I guess the only one that I planted at the correct height, because she's been blooming for us for the past 2 years. And you can see the little ants on it. They're not harming the plant at all. They're just enjoying the nectar from the bud. Come along here. I also have my first fig plant. It's not doing much right now, but this is the Celeste fig, and I'm really excited for her. Not sure if she's gonna stay here forever, but she's doing okay. I see green. This is the Bathsheba rose that I moved from behind the Van Cherry. There's browning here, but that's only because of the transplant shock of it all, but you can see there's a lot of green stalks, so I think she will be fine. Right here we did a lot of changes because we kind of went on vacation in the winter, and we went to a property that had a hot tub, and we really enjoyed having that. So this area was supposed to be my shade garden, but it's going to be transformed into having a hot tub right in the middle. So I'm mostly trying to plant evergreen in this area. So I have some emerald green arbs. I'm going to have this oak leaf hydrangea, just some other stuff that are evergreen that could provide some privacy during those winter months. I also added the Rainier cherry right here just to mirror the Van Suite, so it's at the same location. I also moved up this Bartlett pear, and she's really liking it. We're seeing a lot of buds on her compared to last year. She wasn't even leafing out as much. I have this Japanese maple here, which I should stake up to keep the trunk straight, but this is not her permanent location. The permanent location is not ready yet, so she's going to be growing here for this year at least. But I really enjoy the red trunk. It's also going to be red during the winter, so that'll be some nice winter interest during that time. Same thing over here with chives, bee balm. I think this is some forget-me-not, if I'm remembering correctly, but just trying to create just a little ecosystem underneath the fruit trees. I think would be great for them. Look at the chicken. Girls, get out. Here is one of the Dusty Millers that I actually didn't prune for the start of the season, and this is how it looked all throughout the year, just nice and bright. It was kind of really funny. I didn't know that it was evergreen. And then we have this crimson grape in here, and I'm thinking I might just put it in front. I'm not sure because it's kind of slow to come out of like the dormant state a bit. I'm worried. I really don't want it to die. So I don't know. I'm going to watch it for a few. And if anything, I'm going to move it where the other grapes are. So we are going to, I think this is the east side of the house. Kind of just working on it a little bit. Got some of the hydrangeas planted in here. Want to create privacy like right above our kitchen window, but this is coming out either this summer, probably this summer, because this summer. Yes, it's falling out. So we're gonna have more of a cinder block border and getting all this cleaned out. There's so much rocks that came out of just this area. This is not even half the amount. And then I transplanted these Emily Bront rows here. Probably should have just waited until the end of the year, because I'm thinking that it might be a little bit too close to the hydrangeas, and I just kind of pricked myself a bit. But I just wanted to get the hydrangeas planted and growing in its permanent space, at least for this year. I wasn't even sure if this plant was going to survive, but we do have grapes. We have grapes growing all over. I want to quickly show you what's happening in the main bed. I'm still not certain about what I want to put in here, but I have the bobo hydrangeas flanking both sides, and this should only get about 3 feet tall and wide. We have a lot of tulips that came back, which I was really surprised about, and of course the main thing in this bed is the early glow strawberries. And I think just the blooms of the strawberries look gorgeous, so I'm happy about that. And then here I put the Thompson seedless grape. This is Lakemont seedless grape. This is a green grape, and I'm planning to have that start from here, and it will meet in the middle between the Thompson and the St. Teresa. So over here we have the Sequoia strawberries. These I was going to replace with the seascapes, but again, there's like a little ledge here, and I always get a little bit nervous when the kids are harvesting strawberries here. So I figured I'd just stick with the sequoias here. Since they are, I think they're June bearing, they'll only harvest right here a couple times versus the ever bearing of the seascapes. And this is where the feverfew originated. which is why I don't know how it ended up in the back, but it found its way. And then we have our onions, some shallots. So these are mostly the yellow onions. And then we have the shallots in the back. I don't grow a lot of shallot. I grew more last year, but I realized we don't really use it as much. So mostly onions it is. And this is where I took the Emily Bront rose from. They were looking so good right here. And I moved them. This one is about to bloom. That was such a big mistake. I should have waited till the end of the season. Here we have the Okame flowering cherry tree, which did a beautiful job flowering earlier in the spring, but now it's just leaves. But I can't wait to see how this grows and kind of takes over this area. And then my favorite for the front yard is definitely the azaleas. They usually look a little bit better earlier in April, but they are just getting better and better each year. I do have to do some pruning of some dead branches in there, and I would ideally like to get the white out of there, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But the pink is slowly taken over, and I'm just going to let it. But I don't think I could take out the white. But this is the front garden. Still a lot of changes to come. I just don't know quite yet what I want to put here. So that completes our garden tour for April. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I tried to show you as much as I possibly can. Whatever I miss is going to have to go into Maze, but I'm really, really excited for this season, especially for the amount of fruit that we're supposed to be getting. So with the right kind of protection, hopefully we are filled to the brim with fruits this year. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Continue to eye up yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.